All right, hello, good evening, and welcome into another episode of America's Hometown Horror. My name is Mike. Thanks so much for joining us. And I'm flying solo here as I record a little intro before I kick it over to a recording of our second ever live podcast that we did a couple of weeks ago at the 2024 Hometown Haunts and Hops Horror Convention, which was at Mayflowerbrewing and of course we were helping our friend Andy Driscoll of Inebriart in planning that event, and if I do say so myself, I think things went pretty smoothly and we had a lot of fun, considering that the runoff from the hurricane tried to kind of ruin everything. We adapted, we made do with everything as best we could. It was a little bit tight quarters in there with us having the outside venue removed, but we certainly made the best of it, or at least I thought so. And I hope everyone had as much of a good time as we did. We certainly had a blast. It was great getting to meet all the awesome vendors that were there. I really tried to take a step back and walk around and introduce myself to a bunch of different people, which I realized last year I took like pretty much no pictures and didn't even really get a chance to talk to anybody because I was running around like a madman. So I made a concerted effort to change that this year. And to anyone that I met and was kind enough to come to Hometown Haunts and Hops, hope you guys had an absolute blast. I want to thank a few people first here, and I really hope I don't forget anybody before I kick it over to our live recording. First and foremost, I want to thank our friends at Mayflower Brewing Company for hosting the event for the second year in a row. They were great, as always. The venue's perfect for this type of event, and we look forward to bringing it back to Mayflower Brewing Company in year 3. And of course, we're going to return for year 3. It's not any sort of breaking news or anything like that. So thanks to Mayflower for their hospitality, as always. Thank you to our awesome guests, the Crypt Keeper himself, Johnkassir, who I, still can't believe that I got to talk to on the panel and just throughout the event, and listening to him do the Crypt Keeper voice live and in person is something I'll never ever forget. Really, really cool stuff. Thank you to the film directors who showed up for the film festival and for the con itself, including John Campopiano, Chris LaMartina, and Melissa LaMartina. It was great having all of them there, getting to know them a little bit and chatting with them. Matt and I actually had a chance to record a horror director panel with Chris and John Campopiano, so we'll be releasing that later on this week, so stay tuned for that as a little bonus content for you guys. Also, a very special thank you to auroragorealis for hosting her game show, The Tournament of Terror, at Dirty Water Distillery, right before the film screening showing of the wnufhalloweenspecial. That was a whole bunch of fun. Andrew and I did win the Newly Dead game, which maybe there'll be some photos that come out of that lately. It was actually a pretty fun experience. So shout out to Andrew. Turns out we know each other pretty well. Who'd have thunk? Doing almost 5 years of podcasting together and friends before that. So anyway, a couple more thank yous. Mentioned Dirty Water Distillery already. They're awesome. Thank you to Dirty Water for hosting the film festival along with the after party. Thank you to Beachcreeper, the band, for playing at the after party. Thank you to Sournotsorrybrewing Company for hosting the screening of Pennywise, the story of it, and Snapper, the man-eating turtle movie that never got made. We really appreciate you guys hosting us. And thank you to all of our sponsors, including Shine Through Inc., Plymouth Bay Barbershop, Brennan Smoke Shop, Speedball Tavern, One Stop Painting, Fiscarillo Restaurant Group, and Fright Kingdom of Nashua, New Hampshire, who's celebrating their 20th year haunting the people of New Hampshire, which is, for my money, I think probably the coolest haunted attraction in New England operating right now. So get up to Fright Kingdom and visit them in their 20th year. So, all right, I think I've rambled on for long enough. I probably could thank a million more people, and I sincerely hope that I did not forget anyone, but we had an absolute blast, and I'm looking forward to kind of enjoying the month of October now that Haunts and Hops is behind us, watching a bunch of spooky stuff, getting up to Barrett's Haunted Mansion and whatever haunted attractions I can get to, and just having some good old spooky Halloween fun. So, again, thank you to everyone involved with Haunts and Hops. We look forward to seeing you again next year. And without further ado, here is the second edition of Cat's Questions at our second ever live show from Hometown Haunts and Hops 2024. Hope you enjoy. All right, good evening.
Hi.
Hello.
Guys, come on, hey,
I didn't
audience.
know if you were waiting
Guys,
for
we're at the
something.
Hometown Haunts and Hops Horror Convention 2024. Let's make some noise for Haunts and Hops out there in the audience.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so thanks so much for coming to check out our show. Our show is called America's Hometown Horror Podcast. My name is Mike. I'm one of our hosts. We're a weekly horror podcast, and we cover all sorts of things, including movies, TV, haunted attractions, pretty much anything horror that you can think of that's fun, we like to talk about in a fun way. Picture
Haunted attractions.
Yeah, haunted attractions. I think I did mention that. I did. Yeah, it's all right. When the hosts aren't listening, it's okay.
Wouldn't be an episode.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, we are very thrilled to be back here for year 2 of the Hometown Haunts and Hops Horror Convention. This is our second ever live show. Our first ever live show was last year at this exact event. So we're very happy to be back here at Hometown Haunts and Hops. So thank you to Mayflower. Thank you to Inebriart for involving us in this event. It's really is one of the highlights of our year every single year, or I should say the 2 years that we've been a part of it. But I don't do this alone. Joined by me here live and in person are my 3 co-hosts, my esteemed co-hosts, my lovely wife, Catherine, and my dear friends, Matthew and Andrew. Lady, gentlemen, hello.
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 What's up, buddy?
Thank you guys for joining us.
How we doing? You guys feeling
Doing good.
Good.
Awesome.
Feeling
Great day
It's-
so far.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah,
Really
dude,
fun.
I got to say, this has been a great turnout so far at Haunts and Hops this year. Not so far; it's been a great turnout all day. So,
Yeah.
awesome to have our guests on hand. The incredible Johnkassir, aka the Crypt Keeper, who will be doing his panel just after we finish recording. It's starting at 6:00, and also our horror director guests, Chris LaMartina and John Campopiano. So last year when we did this show here, we wanted to try and do a topic that covered a lot of different things as opposed to focusing on one particular movie or show, et cetera, that we sometimes do. And from time to time, our co-host Kat likes to come up with some wacky questions for us to kind of
Wacky.
run the
It's kind of
gamut.
like an interview. It's
Yeah,
kinda
no,
fun.
it's fun. Basically to cover a lot of different wide-ranging horror topics and talk about a lot of different fun things. So this will be a pretty fun, informal conversation. We would encourage some audience participation if you guys feel so inclined. Maybe if we have some time, we'll even take some questions from the audience if you guys have anything you want to ask us. But so without further ado, because I know we are on a little bit of a time crunch before John comes on, I will hand the reins over to my co-host, Catherine, to start asking us some questions. Catherine, take it away. And I would say, why don't we do so, Kat, when you ask a question, we'll go Matt, Andrew, and then me, and then back to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Great. Well, let's get into it. All right. Question number 1. I don't really have a number of questions, just groups. Anyways.
Fair enough.
If you could have any horror writer, director, or actor as a guest on the podcast, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Do they have to be alive?
No, we can, yeah.
I think
can
I would
open it up.
I would take Toby Hooper, and I'd love to talk to him about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's my favorite horror movie. Just to get a little more insight. I know that he had his idea at a hardware store, standing in line and being like, "Wow, it'd be great if I could use this chainsaw and cut through everyone and get out of here," which is crazy. But obviously, if you're going to make the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But I'd love to know just that movie is so incredibly iconic and horrific, and just having any more insight from him, R.I.P., would have just been fantastic. It would have been amazing.
Nice. Andrew?
That's tough. I probably would go with Ridley Scott just because he's made some really banger horror movies, but he's also just made some really awesome action movies too, like Gladiator.
Love that movie.
And I feel like it's directing on a whole different level when expectations are set as high as they are for all of his movies, that like everything gets scrutinized. Like he has such a big budget on these movies. Like everyone's like, oh, it must be easier to direct a movie on a bigger budget than a smaller budget, which is probably true. But there's also a lot more pressure to actually deliver upon that budget. So I feel like he'd be an interesting guy to talk to.
Nice. Michael?
So I feel like I could come up with something witty and different here, but I feel like I would be going against my
my true answer here if I didn't say Stephen King, right? I mean,
First, you have to take my
Stephen
answer.
King, probably the most popular horror writer ever to exist, and he's had such an impact on my life from reading his books to seeing his movies, and I really don't think I would be the horror fan that I am today without the works of Stephen King, be it the movies, be it his books. So I know Matt's also a pretty big fan. I mean, it would be an incredible get on the podcast. So hey, Steve, if you are ever listening to this and you want to come on America's Hometown Horror, we will clear our schedules to have you come out there. So
It is his birthday today.
it is his birthday, so happy birthday to Stephen King.
Oh, wow.
Yep, exactly. So
Cool.
yeah, Stephen King. Kat, what about you?
Of course, you took my answer, but also the cool thing about what I'd asked Stephen King, because I watched that documentary last night at Sour Not Sorry, and it was awesome. So it's kind of seeing like his mind and how it worked to create this crazy TV series / movie, whatever you want to call it.
Cocaine.
It's awesome. Like it really showed like how he developed everything and like the weird parts and the impromptu parts, and it was awesome. So I'd probably ask him something further. I feel like there was a couple of things about it that like I was still kind of the ending and stuff. So
You got to read that book. too.
I know I haven't read.
It's
the
a big,
book,
it's a big
so-
to do, but if you read it, you will be. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So maybe my questions would be answered in that. But
Number one thing Kat won't do.
I won't read.
is
No, I'm
read.
Yeah,
not
it's
gonna
1,000
do it.
plus pages.
That's
so,
not
I mean,
gonna
that's
happen.
a
I will
big-
say,
big-
even the audiobook for it is intimidating because it's almost 48
Oh god.
hours
Oh no way.
long.
No.
which I listened to in its entirety before Chapter 2 came out. So yeah, it's very intimidating, but it's well worth it. It's an awesome book.
I couldn't, but yeah. So yeah, I have the same answer. Cool, same answer. Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's okay. Some of these answers may overlap.
It's all right. I'm not.
All right,
I don't
Kat.
hate it.
Next question.
What is your favorite horror topic to discuss on the show, and why do you think it resonates with our audiences?
Ooh. All right. I usually pick a lot of really bleak, very violent, brutal horror movies. I've talked on the show about it before, and I think they're not going to be for everybody. Not everyone likes to subject themselves to those kinds of things. But I do think it's important every once in a while you kind of step out of a comfort zone and you put yourself through something, and you kind of feel something that you wouldn't normally in your normal everyday life. Anxiety and stress and this, that, and the other thing usually is what you can get from a lot of them. But just to kind of prepare yourself almost mentally for a trauma, I think it's important to do, because if you never have anything happen to you, which obviously that's not a bad thing, but if something does happen to you and you're not prepared for it, it's going to be incredibly devastating. So I kind of enjoy having that kind of element with horror. It brings you out of your comfort zone. It forces you to think of things you don't want to, and just be afraid for a little bit and feel fear and stress and anxiety and depressed. Like I think it's an important thing to exercise your brain with those kinds
To
of
feel
things.
all the feels.
To feel something. Yeah. So
I mean, if you ever even really felt anything until you've watched Cannibal Holocaust or Martyrs or one of the other terribly bleak movies that we've
Irreversible,
discussed.
yeah.
Yeah, Irreversible is a pretty bad one too. But yeah, I agree. Andrew?
I would say probably like 90s slashers are my favorite topic to. No, that's a lie. Those
I was like,
actually-
what?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, those
That's
are
not
those are
nice.
cat picks, and they're the worst types of movies that have ever
Who doesn't
existed.
like Scream?
I do like when Matt picks these bleak, depressing, awful movies, because
Thank you, Andrew.
For the main reason being that it does lead to very good conversation. A lot of different. We always have a lot of different opinions and ideas on what the movie actually means. So I just enjoy that aspect. I hate when you talk about a movie and it's just very basic and there's not much to digest or to, I don't know, reconstitute or whatever I don't know. I'm using words that I don't even know the meanings to at this point. But I like heady horror. I like bleak horror, and I love the conversations that come from that. So 90s slasher movies, no, those are terrible. So sorry, Kat.
Boo.
So I'll go next. I would say for me, undoubtedly, I'm a found footage horror. I'm a sucker for found footage horror. I've always loved it. The first R-rated movie I ever saw in theaters was The Blair Witch Project, and it scared the absolute shit out of me. That movie I still find scary. I know a lot of people don't particularly enjoy that movie, but I still do. And I'm just drawn to that particular subgenre of horror. I also find that it's the the subgenre that actually still scares me the most. I feel like it's a very good genre that can pull off scares pretty easily. And if you've listened to our show before, you know that I happen to love monster movies. That would probably be my other answer if I had to pick one. And I feel like the found footage genre really lends itself well to monster type stories. So if you watch like the VHS style movies, like I love that type of stuff where it's a lot of like, creatures, that type of thing. Like in VHS 94, the Ratma segment, that was awesome. So I love found footage. I'll always be a sucker for it. And people continue to keep making found footage horror in a way that's interesting. So like even one from this year that came out that I know Andrew and I both really liked a lot was Frogman. That movie was awesome. So check out Frogman.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really cool movie. Kat?
So mine is real life scary things. Things that scare you in real life. The weather.
No, I was going to say weather
Terrifying.
falls in that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it resonates with everyone because what do you do? First thing you wake up, hey Google, what's the weather today? Hey Alexa, what's the weather today? What am I gonna wear? What is this? Imagine like hurricane, downpour, tornado, fire, flood. Terrifying.
Sharknado.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. You're like, that's horrifying.
Yeah,
so,
no control.
Right, zero control. So yeah, real life scary things like the weather, I think resonate with our audience.
So natural disaster horror.
Natural disaster horror.
All I can hope is that someday that you wake up and you talk to one of our Google speakers and say, hey, Google, what's the weather today? And it says scary. That'd be great. That would make my day.
That would be awesome.
Very
Scary
scary.
outside.
7%
Very spooky.
chance
Very
of death.
spooky.
All right, what's next? Oh, actually, you know what? Hey, before we get to our next question, I want to thank our producer, Shaun O'Laughlin, who's right here in the audience with us. Hi, Shauno.
Shauno.
Makes us, handles all of our audio and music production, makes us sound great. And Kat and I were able to join him and his dad, Jim, on a live podcast earlier today called You're Not Listening, a music podcast. And we talked about Halloween music in general. It was a lot of fun to talk about. And Shauna wants to give away some prizes, and we have some raffle tickets up here, right? Yeah,
Yes.
so there's a lot of stuff up on display on the right here. So why don't we pick out a raffle ticket, and we can give away a prize.
Who wants to pick it?
You can do it.
Okay. It'd be. Well, imagine if this was the one.
Be like, hey, you have a ticket. You
Let's
win.
try it. Let's
Zero-
see.
No one's gonna say it isn't.
Let's see if there's magic in the air.
070-4815.
I'm like, what was it? That was the number.
Hang on to it because we'll
Yeah, yeah.
do another one in a little bit.
All right, I'll tell you what. We'll keep pulling out raffle tickets periodically, and eventually we'll get to you, my friend.
Really?
Yeah, well,
Why don't
eventually
you
we'll
just
get
tell
to
me
you.
the number of the ticket you
Right?
want.
Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you
Yeah, well,
selected?
it might be easier if you do that, and then we'll just pick. Maybe we'll pick it.
Hello, and welcome to Movie Phone. All right, Kat, what's the next question?
Next question. Are there any current trends in horror right now that excite or frustrate you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That
Yes.
was yes.
I don't like the fact that Blumhouse just remade Speak No Evil.
Fuck that.
The Blumhouse thing is it's kind of its own animal where it's this very mainstream, very muddled down, very predictable kind of production of horror. At the same time, I can't get too far onto that side of the fence because I do think any good box office success is good for horror in general. It's going to keep making sure that the genre is doing well. But I don't like that they're remaking that movie, especially so soon. Especially, I haven't seen it, and I know that the ending is not going to be anywhere close to what the original ending was because it can't be. You can't make that movie have that ending in a mainstream American movie that's being mass produced and shown in movie theaters. It's just that's not how it works over here. But one thing that does excite me are the opposite of that are things like Terrifier 3. Terrifier 2 last year, me and Andrew saw it in theaters. It was a packed house. It was the most outrageously gory, insane movie I've seen in theaters. That was a horror movie. And to know that there's going to be another one that's going to be even more intense and crazy and out of control. Those low budget kind of things that keep getting this little avenue to have this audience come and spend money and see them. That's what's going to keep that kind of thing going. And the more we keep doing that, the more we're going to keep getting these movies and the more fun it's going to be a horror fan right now. I don't want to go on record to say this could be a nice little mini 80s right now with the renaissance of just fantastic horror that we're getting, but we are really lucky to be able to see the movies we're seeing right now. There's a lot of good directors, a lot of good writers, and a lot of good special effects people that are putting a lot out there to make very good horror films, and it's a great time to be able to go and see that and enjoy them. So it's worth spending the $15 or however, $25, I guess, maybe, I don't know, however much it is But if you're able to go see a movie, if you see a trailer or you see an advertisement, you think this movie looks good, go see it in theaters if you have the time. It's worth it. It's important.
Andrew?
Well said, Matthew.
Thank you.
Here, here.
I don't know if this is like a trend or if it's going to become a trend, but I can't stand these like AI horror movies like Megan. And then I just saw a trailer for some other garbage trash movie called Afraid. And it's just like, we're good. We don't need that style of movie. Like, we all understand like the dangers of AI, and we're all very not interested in watching a movie about it. So I like, aside from like shared universe type movies that, or like Marvel type movies, which that's the only aspect of a horror movie that I'm really not interested in is AI movies. So.
Good answer, Andrew.
Michael?
So I second Matt's thought on the dumbing down of awesome foreign horror movies for the American audience. I think that is bogus and it should stop. But my pet peeve and what really grinds my gears is the giving away of too much information in trailers for horror movies. Again, to reference the Speak No Evil remake that is now currently in theaters. If you've seen the original movie, you probably could pick up that they gave away the entire plot of the original movie in that trailer. So that absolutely annoys the shit out of me. And but then also on the opposite side of that, you have a movie like Longlegs, which I think is probably one of the biggest success stories of this year and one of my favorite horror movies of this year. I mean, we do a top 10 list at the end of every year for our favorite movies. And that, I think, if it does not land in my top 2 or 3, I'll be very surprised. But I mean, they were able to market the hell out of that movie, still get a ton of people to go out and see it. This was the biggest release ever for a neon horror film, which is a studio that's absolutely killing it this year, by the way. And pretty much conceal what Nick Cage looked like in the movie the entire time. And still make it scary.
Points.
Yeah, and a lot of plot points. And that movie was fantastic. So I would say, guys, just stop giving away so much shit in trailers. My God, let people go see the movie. I understand you want to entice people to go see it, but hey, let people have a little bit of let them wonder a little bit. Kat?
So mine was similar to remaking and originals. The remakes right now that are coming out bother me because they're named the same as the other movie that came out like 20 years ago. It's like Scream. Here, Scream again. It's like, is this a prequel? Does this follow?
That's a good
When
one.
does this come in play? Whatever. So, I mean, just remaking movie after movie after movie. And it's getting repetitive, boring. So
Those are like legacy sequels.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really, really sick of them. And the Texas Chainsaw one, bleh.
Yeah,
like
bad.
they're awful. They're
Dog shit. Real
they're
bad.
awful. So like, just stop. No one needs this. Beyond that, the exciting things I like are, unique stuff that's coming out. As much as the remakes frustrate me, unique stuff is awesome. Jordan Peele's awesome director. Every single movie that comes out is just an original and it's a banger. So, I mean, I like new content. So that excites me. That's my answer.
Good.
Cool.
It's very similar. We kind of had the same vibes.
Yeah.
So next question. If you could be a character in a horror movie, who would you choose and how long do you think you would survive for?
Well, if I could be a character in a horror movie
Yep.
and I have to survive for a long time.
Horror movie, show, whatever. You don't have to survive for a long time.
I mean, I might as well be Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween. She lives through the whole
Forever.
series. So I guess that would be my answer. I'm not going to die, and I'm going to hole myself out in a little survival den and be ready to kill Michael Myers with booby traps, Home Alone style, or anything else that I can, and that'll be that. So Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween.
Good choice. Good choice. Andrew?
I mean, if that's the parameters of this question, I'll just go with Hannibal Lecter because at least I always get to eat something good. A little different, maybe a little
Nice.
gamey tasting. But
Have a little Chianti with that?
yeah,
Fava
I might
beans?
end up in prison for a bit, but I'll always find my way out. And then I'll exact revenge upon those that betrayed me. So
Very
Nice.
on par answer.
It's the most Andrew answer I've ever heard in my life. It's so good. I love it. Also, probably the most Mike answer ever. Rick O'Connell from the 1999 Academy Award winner for Best Picture, The Mummy, directed by Stephen Sommers, because Rick O'Connell is a badass, absolute badass character with awesome hair. And not only did he survive the events of The Mummy, he survived the events of The Mummy Returns and The Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. And hopefully we get Brendan Fraser back someday for a 4th Mummy movie. That would be pretty cool,
Fingers
if I do say so
crossed.
myself. Yeah, fingers crossed.
he also survived becoming a whale too. So
He did. He survived
he
becoming
did.
a whale. Yep, survived that. Still around and kicking. Love me some Brendan Fraser. Kat?
So I would either choose Negan or Daryl from The Walking Dead, because Negan has right? Because Negan has an awesome spiked bat and walks around, whistling and stuff, and he does die eventually. So I wouldn't have a great shelf life, but and Daryl's still kicking around. He's on his little side, right?
Yeah, he's got his own show now.
Yeah, he's got his own little side gigs. So, and he has crossbow and he goes around on a motorcycle like a badass. So, I mean, those are two pretty cool people from series that I wouldn't mind being.
Good choices.
Can you whistle, Kat?
Yes. I'm not going to whistle into the mic, though. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of pressure. No, not right now.
All right, I'm going to read another ticket.
Let's do it.
You have your ticket ready? Do you memorize the number yet?
That's why I asked.
070-4811.
Oh, shit.
No?
Okay. We'll get there
What's
eventually.
the last number? It's got to be a 481 something, right?
All
Does
right.
it start with 2? No.
Why don't you just tell us the number of your ticket? How about that? Yeah, there you go. All right. Kat, what do you have next?
Sorry. Next question. What's your go-to horror film or story to recommend to someone who says they don't get scared easily?
Probably as of late, like the last few years, Lake Mungo.
You bastard. You took mine. Oh,
Sorry.
that's all right. Scary one.
This movie is extremely uncomfortable throughout the whole thing. It's a documentary style movie. It's a pseudo documentary, but a girl drowns in a lake and their family's trying to figure out what happened. Like she was out with friends and stuff like that, and they're trying to figure out their supernatural events that are occurring, but they're also unraveling kind of a really disturbing backstory with like a neighbor that was involved too, and it has one of the most just bone-chilling jump scare situations towards the end of the movie, and it's really, really just at the end of it, you're just like, man, this was a rough kind of go. So I would say Lake Mungo. It's from 2008. It's Australian. It's very, very good. That will keep you thinking about it for a little bit. So that would be my go-to for someone that thinks that they're not scared by anything.
If I could, just real quick before you go, Andrew, Lake Mungo is the movie that has scared me the most out of anything I've seen in the last few years. That was going to be my pick too, but it's absolutely horrifying. And that one scare is like, whew, yeah, you need to watch some Seinfeld or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia afterwards to kind of cleanse your palate a little bit. Andrew?
I would probably say I still find it to be a terrifying movie just for multiple reasons. Is The Descent.
It's such a good
the
choice.
claustrophobia, the darkness, the creepy humanoid creatures that are attacking these poor women down in these caves. Just everything about it. Like first off, yeah, claustrophobia is my biggest.
Yeah, cave diving doesn't
No
look fun.
thanks.
The dark.
And then if you're in the dark and then there's like this weird bat-faced fucking thing attacking you, and meanwhile you have to like look out for the paranoia of the people that you're with, who are now killing each other at this point by accident because they're so scared. Like it's just a horrifying movie, and that movie that will always be in like my top 5 like scariest movies.
That's a good pick.
Nice.
The
Michael?
Descent's also an awesome choice for sure.
I think that might win.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Descent
that's a really good one.
That's a really, really good answer.
Those probably
Andrew.
would have been 2 of my answers, but I guess I'll go back to my roots here. I still think to this day that Alien is the most viscerally terrifying horror movie that I've ever seen in my entire life. It touches on body horror, it touches on claustrophobia, like Andrew was saying with The Descent. It's a grimy, gritty, dirty, scary movie. And it makes me so happy to see the success that Alien Romulus has had, because the Alien franchise after that particular movie kind of went in an action direction, which wouldn't have been my choice. I mean, I like Aliens just fine, but Alien is the scariest movie I think I've ever seen, and Alien Romulus brought it back to those horror roots, which I love. I think that's a big reason that movie's done so successful. So I'll be boring and I'll say Alien because I can't think of anything else at the moment. Kat?
Cool. Nice.
Yes. Thank you.
My answer is basic. The Ring. Terrifying. I still have nightmares sometimes. I'll still like, what? Boo! Get out of here. Hiss.
Hiss.
So no, I'll still see like Samara in like the dark, and when I'm have my glasses off and I'm laying in bed like late at night, I'm like, oh my god, she's in the corner.
You should
No,
watch
she's
the
not.
original
No,
one.
she's not. I know.
The original one's very scary.
Yeah, and now we have the fire pit in the backyard too. I mean, I can't get away from it. I'm constantly afraid
It's a well,
of this
not a
movie
fire pit.
since I've
that she
seen
comes
it.
out of.
But
Just so you're aware.
well,
Realize that.
we have a fire. Well, yeah, it's not. It's a well, but it looks like the well. It's got the
I can
looks
see
the
it.
one.
I can see it.
I'm not
Yeah.
crazy here.
Yeah.
Next question. Jesus. If you could summon one horror movie villain to attend a Halloween party with you, who would you choose and why? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Sure, go for it. Yeah. Why don't we go in reverse?
I got a good one.
We'll go back the other way. You go, Kat, then I'll go, then we'll go the other way.
All right. I would pick Ghostface because whoever's under that mask is going to be psychotic, going to want to besides killing people, but also have a good time. And then you even see what's Ghostface in Scary Movie 3 or something. And he's like, yeah.
That's the first scary movie.
Yeah, so he'd be a good time.
But that's Scary Movie.
Right.
That's not Scream.
He's gonna kill
But
everybody
he's still
at the
a
party.
villain.
Why are you
He's
inviting
in
him?
that movie too.
Okay.
So Ghostface is also in that movie and Scream. But he seems like he'd be a good time at a party.
Okay.
So I'd invite Ghostface.
So with mask off, good time at party. Mask on, bad time at party.
Always.
Okay, mask on always. Oh, okay.
Mask on, bad time at party.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe knife. Maybe
Kat, you would
knife,
probably be
but-
the first person to die at this
Maybe.
party, though. You do know
Oh,
that.
I'm 100% the first to go. I got a lot of things going against me in a horror movie. A lot of things.
I mean, that 90s party, that party in Scream did look like it was fun, so it probably would be a good time.
Yeah.
I can co-sign on that.
Okay. So you understand the question?
Yeah, no, I got you. All right. I think I would go with Dracula.
Dracula.
He seems like a gentleman. He
Going around making out with everybody, biting people.
maybe. I mean, yeah, you can find love at a party, but like you're inviting him into your house, which I mean, as long as it's not my house, that's fine. But he's a gentleman. I just think just don't shack up with him. He's not going to try to bite you and turn you into a vampire or anything like that. So likes red wine. He's got good taste.
Okay.
So
Fair. Andrew?
It's a very tough question. Can I just say Vincent Price? I mean, he's not like a horror villain, but
You can.
he is.
That's fine.
It's a
Yeah,
great
it's
answer.
acceptable.
And he just walk around, good evening.
Yeah.
And he just hang out.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
As Dr. Phibes, though, I want him to ruin my the lives of those. No, yeah, I want him to kill everybody that had ever betrayed me in
That's twice
the
you've said
worst
that.
ways possible.
Lots of revenge
using
narrative.
the plagues on Egypt as that's what he used, the plagues on Egypt. It's
mentioned
phenomenal.
revenge 2 times.
Locusts. He's just the
All
best.
right.
Dr. Phibes is great.
It is good.
He's creepy. He's very pale, but he's a nice guy.
Mike, what's your answer?
He's a doctor.
So I'd probably bring a couple wingmen to a party with me. I would say a Beetlejuice and Leprechaun pairing would be a pretty good party
hell?
trio. I feel like that'd be a pretty good time. I mean, Leprechaun, there's going to be a lot of alcohol involved.
He is Irish.
We could go to outer space.
I'm
We could do
surprised.
all kinds of weird stuff.
I'm surprised
I
you
take
didn't pick
offense to that.
Gremlins.
I'm Irish. Relax.
Yep. Gremlins? Yeah, I mean, Gremlins would be fun, but then all of a sudden, then you're at a bar with the Gremlins. They're just trashing the bar and they're,
they're fucking shit
hanging
up.
off the ceiling and the fans and all that. So, and I mean, Beetlejuice just seems like he'd be a turn on the juice and see what gets loose type of vibe at the party. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Juice and see what gets
it's
loose.
in the movie. It's a line from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. So, okay, Beetlejuice and Leprechaun. I win. Catherine.
Oh, that's cool. Let's see if we get
Yeah,
this
let's-
guy. his
Okay,
prize.
all right, let's get this guy a prize. Let's keep going.
0704822. What? What up? Yeah, just take the prize anyway.
Come on up.
We're going to give him a prize anyway.
on
We'll give him a
down.
prize at the end. Hey! All right. There we go.
What do you win?
What's your name, man? Neil. Nice to
Neil.
meet you, Neil. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it. Congratulations.
No, you can't take that one.
All right, Kat, what's up next on our docket of doom here?
Okay. If you could be any Universal classic monster for Halloween, which one would you be, and what would you do for the night?
I'd be the wolf man and I would just go ape shit the whole time at everywhere I went, and everyone would be like, "Yeah, that's fine." This is
Yeah,
the
that's
wolf man."
fine.
Yeah.
You're
I always like the wolf man. I that's my favorite of the Universal monsters. Scared the hell out of me when I was a little kid, but you just get that. You get to be an animal, right, Craig? Craig knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Andy, my boy.
I would be Dracula, and I would just desecrate an entire town.
Jesus Christ!
What kind of questions?
Short, sweet, and morbid. Absolutely love it.
I'm a monster.
Okay.
See a couple of answers being held up in the background of this audience here. Okay, so deep cut universal monster. It is a universal monster. I would be Dr. Henry Jekyll. Show up at my party looking suave and debonair, dressed nicely, and have a couple of elixirs and turn right into Mr. Hyde, and then just get nuts.
That's just drinking with you.
I feel like
every
that's
time.
that's
It's,
just pretty
that's
much.
last night at the BBC.
Once the pomade starts to wear
Yeah.
off.
No comments.
Well, my answer,
Yes.
thank you for asking,
Yes, next. Yeah, yes.
is the Invisible Man.
Creep.
So yes, creep. Absolutely. I would creep all over
Creepy
parties
baby.
and I would mess everything up and people would be like, oh my God,
There's
that
a
just
ghost.
fell. Oh my God, that's happening. What's going on here? I would just cause havoc.
just go
I would
home
be
and
Carl
laugh.
Havoc. And I'd go home and just die laughing. It would be great.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was a good one.
Good answer.
Someone switched the butter with margarine in the dish. Oh my God. What happened?
This Coke tastes like Pepsi.
Like, that was me.
I only wanted a little bit of salt and the lid just came off. What the hell is going on here?
Who didn't put the lid down on the toilet? Seats, not the lid. I don't know
all
why I said
right.
lid. That's a weird thing to say.
What do you got next, Kat?
Next question. If you were to create a haunted house for Halloween, what would the main theme be? And would you have any scary features in it?
I can go first if you want on that one. Sure. Okay. So I actually have thought of this idea before. And I think it'll be a really good idea for this particular area. A Bridgewater Triangle themed haunted house somewhere on the South Shore or the South Coast. Obviously, it's a very famous thing around here. There have been movies made about it. There have been books written about it. And it kind of covers a wide range of weird, spooky stuff, like cryptids. There have been Bigfoot sightings, all kinds of weird creatures, UFO sightings, ghosts, paranormal activity, poltergeist, that type of thing. So I think that could make for a really interesting type of haunted house. Okay. And I feel like the opportunity is there for that. So
I'm going to piggyback off your idea of making it local, Mike, especially to Plymouth, where I would do like some sort of shipwrecked kind of boat, like it would be like the Mayflower. Where you walk through and there's the ghosts of pilgrims and whatever
That's a
else.
really cool idea.
Thank you. I just thought of it. And
really
you
cool
go
idea.
through that, and yeah, there'd be some scary stuff. You'd have some scary pilgrims and ghosts and ghouls and goblins and this and the other thing.
Ooh.
So
What about scary turkeys?
scary turkeys, sure. Yeah,
like that.
Haunted corn on the cob. Yeah.
Oh, cornucopias?
scary rocks.
Scary Plymouth Rock.
Andy?
Oh, is it my turn? I would maybe like a sinister haunted house.
Oh.
Where you're just getting like run over by a lawnmower, or perhaps you're on like a pool chair and you're getting drowned in a pool, or whatever
Sounds like
else
a
happens.
very dangerous haunted
yeah. I mean, not you specifically, but the going on in the background.
Revenge on those who.
Are you
The
signing,
ghoul is there and he's just
are you
ruining.
signing a waiver before you go in your haunted house?
Yeah, you probably should. I would recommend it.
Sounds about right.
I don't know.
You're
They're
run
weird
over by a
questions. I don't
lawnmower?
know.
I mean,
Kat, what about you?
mine would be clowns. All clowns.
Yeah.
Period.
That's
Everywhere.
That's a good
It's
answer.
always
That's a
All-
Kat answer.
Just
Yeah.
line the walls. Then there'd be ones like when we did Barrett's, the blackout one. There'd be clowns, and they'd be able to touch you, but not like mow your face over with a lawnmower, psycho.
Yeah, they can't
but,
kill you.
like they'd be able to do like in a dark room. Like one came up to me with like a sponge and like put that on my face, and I was like, oh my God, someone licked me. Like just a
Ew.
weird, creepy. Yeah, like weird.
I'd rather
creepy
get a
things.
lawnmower run over on my
Oh,
face.
yeah.
That sounds awful.
No, well, whatever. Yeah, mine would be all clowns. Jumping in your face, laughing, crying, angry clowns.
And you'd be the
everything.
ringleader?
Yeah, yes. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. You wouldn't know where I'd pop out of somewhere and be like, peekaboo. Like,
That'd get me.
sorry. All right. Let's get back on track. Imagine you are in charge of creating a brand new Halloween monster. What would it look like? And what's its backstory?
Like a movie, or
I have a really good answer for this.
I feel like there's like
one?
studios that go through like months
No, like
of
make up a
deciding this.
monster. Like,
not
what do you think?
on the spot?
If you think of a monster that's a unique monster that you only created, like your imaginary monster, what does he look like? What's his backstory?
Oh,
what does he
man,
do?
I don't have a good answer
Why
for
is he
this.
scary?
I'm nowhere near creative to come up with
Yeah,
anything
no,
on the
I
spot for this.
have. I'm gonna cheat I'm going to use something that's already done, but it's not utilized enough. There's plenty of scarecrows that could be very scary. There's not enough scary scarecrow movies.
What was that movie we just? Oh, Dark Harvest. That had scary scarecrow, right?
Kind of.
Kind
It
of.
was about a scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Kind of.
scary.
Scary.
But I think like you can really you can go nuts on that. And like we were at Lowe's and they got all their like big huge gigantic Halloween like yard decorations that are like 20 feet tall. They're huge and they had like one really big scarecrow. And I remember being like, wow, there's not enough movies where there's like a actually scary scarecrow thing. And that's kind of where that is. So that's what I'm gonna say. That's
Scary
what I'm
scarecrow.
gonna cop out on that.
Okay, Andrew.
I mean, I actually already created this guy like a while ago. Wilford the Shit.
Yes, yes, bring him back.
He's there's that too, but yeah, he's
Bring
just
him
a
back.
homeless man dressed like Winnie the Pooh with a belly shirt on,
That's it.
jean shorts. He's walking around with a Lowe's bucket, not filled with honey, filled with just a pile of shit. And he just goes around and murders college kids.
You win,
Thank you.
Andrew. You win. You win.
Good job.
I mean, I've had that for
You thought about that on your own?
I know. Yeah.
I mean, I can't possibly top that answer.
not the
So
first
I'm
time
just
you-
I'm gonna say pass, and we'll go to the next question because I can't top
Wait, what
that.
about me? I
Oh
am
yeah,
the
sorry, yeah,
monster.
sorry, Sorry, go ahead. Jesus.
Jeez.
Sorry, I was stuck on Wilford the Shit.
So I
Pardon me.
have this imaginary guy. He's like his name be like the Shredder, and his like face would be ripped into pieces, and he'd have these like really like no, not super handsome. He'd have these crazy long like finger knives. He'd kind of click like Alien, and then if he hears you, he like runs at you.
Okay.
So he was like in a fire. So he's just like
Sounds
all
like Freddy
skin.
Krueger.
Kind of, but not the same though.
Okay.
Kind of like Freddy
Not
Krueger.
as
though.
scary.
3 out of 4 things are Freddy Krueger. But
Yeah, well, this
He's
guy
like-
can't-
he's like a
blind.
semi-scarecrow.
He's blind too.
Oh, he's
Freddy
also
Krueger's not
blind,
blind.
okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a quiet place almost mixed up with that.
Okay.
So it's got weird alien. Like if he hears you, then he like runs like bolts. You're dead.
Okay.
He shreds you to pieces with his
Fingernails.
claws.
The
Yeah.
Shredder.
Yeah, the Shredder.
Also kills Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. That's mine. That's
Okay.
mine. Yeah, he's cool.
I
That's
dig
good.
it.
The most creative answer. I mean, Andrew had a
Well, Wilford
Clearly
the
a
Shit has
banger.
been around for years.
Oscar worthy, but yeah.
I don't know how there's not a movie of him yet.
No, me neither.
It's coming. Someone's going to steal this idea.
Next to Tortuga Takeover.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I think we might have time for like one more question. Yeah, one more question, Kat. So pick your
Okay.
best one.
Let me see. Okay, actually, we kind of brought this up earlier when we were talking about with Shauno. Do you think you'd survive a slasher movie?
Yes.
Why or why not?
Yes.
I just leave.
You just leave?
Yeah, whatever situation I'm in, I would just get out of there.
You're like, nope, bye.
Yeah, no, I'd find a way out.
Well, you can't. You can't say I'll be right back.
I wouldn't. I would just go. I would
Just-
Irish goodbye.
Just
And
leave. Let's go.
yeah.
All right. Well, okay.
So yes,
guess
I would survive.
You'll survive.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew.
Most of the time, I probably wouldn't even show up to wherever I had to be anyway. So
They invite you to a party. You're like, no,
No, I'm not
nope,
coming.
not coming.
I have
no.
2 kids. I can't come.
There you go. All right, that's a fair answer. I like that. Andrew.
That's mainly why I would survive because I have no friends that are single and don't have kids for the most part. So I'm not going on any of these weird excursions that they're going on. No one's inviting me to that.
Well-
They probably are worried that I'm the one that's going to like murder them.
Oh my god.
After
Well,
some of your answers,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
maybe.
There we
That's
go.
where I'm going with.
Yes.
Would anyone like to go on a trip?
Sounds enticing. Yeah, I'm dumb, so I probably wouldn't survive to the end. I'll just keep it short and sweet. Kat?
There's no way I'm surviving a horror movie.
No, not
And
even the first.
Not
opening
even
scene.
the first.
No.
I would be dead in 10 seconds. I would die, and it would be gruesome.
You're Drew Barrymore in
I
Scream.
am Drew Barrymore
Yeah.
in Scream.
Yeah.
Literally. Yep. Yes. Yeah, that would be me. I have every single element against me. So yeah, no shot. No.
All right. I think if we're quick, we can probably do one more.
Okay.
Go for it.
This one I think is one of your favorite questions.
Okay.
What do you decorate for Halloween? And do you have a go-to spooky decoration that you have, like a tradition that you put up every year?
No, but we just got some stuff for the house, and like they had this really cool thing you put on your window and sticks to it, and it looks like Michael
Like
Myers
from
is
the
in your
dollar
window.
store?
No,
Like the little
the Spear
sticky-
Halloween store.
Oh, okay.
But like, yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, I don't have any traditional stuff.
What is it?
It's like it looks like it's Michael Myers like in the window.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. So I thought that was fun.
Nice.
So.
Andrew?
Pass.
Well, you just bought all those posters from downstairs. If everyone has gone through all the vendors, like check them out because they're awesome. They're really cool.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff on
You're
sale
gonna
downstairs.
have a
yeah.
lot of Halloween decorations like year round now.
don't have an answer.
All right. Pass.
All right, so this is clear. Kat clearly picked this question for me because we have this like skull with a top hat
It's
candle holder.
It's a tart warmer. Mike doesn't like to say that, but it's a tart warmer.
I don't. Okay, sure. We'll call it a tart warmer.
What does that
What it's
mean?
called.
And he's affectionately become to be known in our house as Mr. Spooky, and he's always probably the first Halloween decoration that we put out. So
Well, that and
yeah,
one year
thanks
I
for
thought,
making me say those words out loud in front of
well, it was
way
your
too many
favorite
people.
Question, Mike. Well, I thought that I broke him one year. And so I actually went on, I couldn't find him anywhere. It was like a limited edition Yankee Candle tart warmer, Halloween
What is a
edition.
tart warmer?
You put wax on the top and a little candle on the bottom, and it lights it melts the wax on the top, and it makes your house smell nice.
I thought a tart.
I thought
was
that's
like
just what a
food.
candle does.
No, a candle is a candle.
Is it like
The
a torch or a tart?
Okay.
The tart warmer warms the wax.
Is it sour like
Okay.
tart or is it
No,
like
Andrew,
a
but you
torch?
knocked it over in our bathroom one
T-O-R-T-E.
time, and I had to clean out black wax with a butter knife.
Oh yeah, that thing's up
Awful.
year round. That's not just on for Halloween. You guys have that up year
No,
round.
Yeah, you
I
guys
know,
are
but there's a
candles,
specific
always.
one. We have Christmas. We got Mr. Spooky.
I'm gonna
we
make
got
sure to
summer
break that next time I'm
ones.
over your house.
So yeah, I broke Mr. Spooky once though. I thought I did, so I ordered another one off of eBay, and then I found original OG
Yeah,
Mr.
now there's two.
Spooky. So now we have two. Mr.
How much was it
Spookies.
on eBay?
I think $21 or something.
The 750.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
But yeah, I was like, oh my god, I broke our traditional Halloween thing.
Well,
Stupid.
he's still alive and kicking, still hanging around.
That's two of them.
Cool. Okay, so I think we are just about out of time here. So I want to thank Kat for coming up with all those pretty awesome and funny questions. Thank you, Kat. Give Kat a round of applause. And I want to say thank you to Matt and Andrew, and Kat, obviously all my co-hosts here for being good sports up here, talking all these funny questions. And thank you most of all to everyone that came up to come watch us totally not make asses out of ourselves for the last 45 minutes. We certainly appreciate all of you for supporting us. Give yourselves a round of applause. And thanks for coming to Hometown Haunts and Hops 2024. Thanks so much. My name is
everybody.
Mike. I've been joined by Matt, Andrew, and Kat. Lady, gentlemen, good evening.
Hey, good evening. It's me, Wilfred the Shit.
Oh my god.
And coming up next, John Kassir. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you, everybody.
Have fun.
Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and I want to say thanks again for listening to another episode of our show. If you're interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I'd highly recommend you check out the shows from our friends over on the Inebriart Podcast Network. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find shows from Inebriart, the Old Colony Cast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, and Retro Redoctopus, so head on over and give them a listen.